We're live. All right. Hello, what's going on, everybody? Excited today. I'm going to, or I guess not really today, depending when you're at this evening, depending on where you're at today, evening, whatever. We're rocking this right now. I want to talk about 3 ways to invest in real estate in 2024 that work. I'm going to introduce myself here in a second, just so you know I have a couple different apps up right now. So if you see me looking around, I have a few different phones up right now. Let me know where you're from. If you're just joining in the chat box, as always, make sure to comment the word new and you will get sent a free training. I'm going to say that every once in a while because it's free. It's 25 minutes. I don't sell you anything. It's legitimately free. You don't get my phone. I don't collect your phone number or your email address. It's a free training. Legitimately free training that you get for typing the word new in. I get sent directly to your inbox. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, it'll get sent to your inbox. If you're on Tiki or if you're on X, you'll have to check out the link in my bio. But anyways, my name is Sam. I invest in real estate. I own a house buying company that buys 250 to 300 houses a year, all here in St. Louis, so I understand how to buy real estate properties. I also own $50 million worth of real estate. I bought that using any of my own money. That stuff's cool, but what's cooler is I now have 1,700 students in my community and 3 million followers on social media that I teach how to invest in real estate based off my real life method. So let me know where you're from if you're just joining me in the chat box. Then interact, comment. I want to have fun with this. I like to get a little goofy. I'm going to go live for a while. So if you have an opportunity and if you have a 45 minutes-ish, I promise you that I'm going to give you more information than anything else you can do in the next 45 minutes. So I know you got probably things to do this evening, but make sure to hang out with me for a little while here because I'm going to teach you how to invest in real estate legitimately for free with actionable information. All right, so there are 3 ways to invest in real estate, and just so you know, I'm going to be doing some giveaways and going to be showing you some things to type in to help with interaction and engagement. But again, type the word new in, you get an ungated free training, meaning I don't collect your phone number or your email address. It's legitimately free. All right, so here we go. There are 3 ways to invest in real estate in 2024. All 3 of these work really well. It just kind of depends on your specific market and what exactly you're looking to do and what your current situation is, okay? So let's go over the 3 ways to invest in real estate, and then I'm going to do a deep dive on all 3. I'm going to give you tips and tricks. I have done trainings like this, and I've seen people do trainings like this where they charge thousands of dollars for a training. I'm not doing that. I'm doing this all for free for you because I enjoy it and because several of you will end up getting the training and watching it, and a few of them will book a call with my team and be part of my community. But if you don't want to do that, no harm, no foul. Let's just do this and enjoy this together. So let me know where you're from. See if I can turn this off. Sorry, I got see that little purple one away? Perfect. All right, so there's 3 ways to invest in real estate in 2024. So how I look at this is, what do you need right now? So the first way to invest in real estate that gives you the most cash as soon as possible. Does anybody know what that method is? Again, interact with me. A lot of hearts and crying faces. Why a lot of crying faces? That's funky, but it might not be the app you're on, but I see a lot of crying faces on one of the apps. What is the best way to invest in real estate to get cash now? Does anybody know? Anybody have any idea? Again, I'm giving away free advice here. I'm not asking for anything. If anything, I'm giving away free trainings up there. What is the best way to get cash now? Oh, flip. So I thought somebody said fly down. Wholesale. Wholesale. Again, thank you for spending some time with me this evening, or I guess it could be late afternoon, depending where you're at. Wholesaling real estate is a great way to get cash now. If you have bad debt or you need money right now, wholesaling is your best option. Now, who on here knows what wholesaling is? Thumbs up if you know what wholesaling is. Thumbs down if you do not. Thumbs up if you know what wholesaling is. Thumbs down if you do not. Share this live with anybody who knows interested in real estate investing. I'm giving away free advice, people. Wholesale is an option too. Great. I love it. Comments are delayed a little bit, by the way. So thumbs up if you know what wholesaling is. Thumbs down if you do not. I'm going to go over it, but I'm going to teach you here in a minute how to wholesale real estate, which is get cash now without using any money, any credit, or taking any risk. It literally almost sounds like it's something that's too good to be true, but it's not. So I'm going to show you how to wholesale real estate and make cash now, US-based investing only, sorry. I'm going to show you how to wholesale real estate, make cash now with no money, no credit, and no risk. It's a legitimate way. I have wholesaled my company, and I've been involved in obviously a lot of it, have wholesaled over 1,000 houses. So I know how to do it with no money, no credit, no risk. Would that be a good use of your time to learn how to invest in real estate with no money, no credit, no risk? All right, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. What's a way to get bigger chunks of cash? So this is cash now, no money, no credit, no risk. If you have access to cash and funding, there's a way to make more money. Anybody know the different strategy that you can make money investing in real estate in 2024? Fix and flip, all right? Fixing and flipping. So this is a great way to make bigger chunks of cash. This is cash later, or this is cash now, this is cash later. The average wholesale fee across the country, I think, is $20K. I don't know the exact average flip, but my guess is the average flip rehab is more like $40K. So you can make double the money, but there's more risk involved naturally. You're buying it, you're closing on it, you're fixing it up. I'm going to give you tips and tricks to fix and flip and maximize profit in today's market, okay? So who on here, which one are you more excited about right now? Wholesaling cash now, fixing and flipping cash later with a little more risk. One or two, let me know in the comments which one excites you. What do you need more right now? Do you need would you like to get 20 grand in 70 days, 75 days, or would you rather get 40 grand in 150 days? Like, which one are you looking for? One or three? One or three, what's up? Somebody said, no, I can't hear you. Voice out, we'll get that fixed, so we're good. Well, yeah, looks like one of the apps is down right now. We'll see if we can get it back. Audio is out. Audio is out. Why would that be? Boom, boom. How about now? We got me now? I think you can hear me. You got me now? Audio good? I just turned it off and on. So we're talking about we're talking about fixing and flipping and wholesaling. Give me thumbs up if you got my audio back. Thank you for hanging out. So wholesaling and fixing and flipping are our two main options. That's what we're going to talk about here. And then can't hear you. I see that. Awesome. All right. So wholesaling, fixing, and flipping. The next thing we're going to talk about on here is rentals. So buying rentals is the third. There's a lot of strategies behind it, but this is a good way to create wealth. Okay. This is a great way to create wealth. So this is what we're talking about. Wholesale, fixing, and flipping, and creating wealth is what we're going to talk about here right now. So these are the three things. So this is how you build wealth. You're not going to build wealth by rentals or flipping. I know. I flip 75 houses a year and wholesale 200 houses a year. You don't create wealth doing those things. You just create wealth through rentals. So there's a few different things that you have to do to make that happen, and that is the biggest thing that we're going to talk about here is a good mixture of all three. So let me know in the comments. Again, sorry I had to get another one of the apps up. Let me know what you think in the comments, which one is most appealing to you right now. And I'll let a few votes get in, but just so you know, if you're like, he's kind of all over the place, I like to have fun and do this, but I'm going to do a deep dive in all three of those things. So depending on which ones you want, but we'll probably just go in that order, which one is most appealing to you? And by the way, if you comment the word new, as it says up there, you will get sent a free 25-minute training if you're on IG or Facebook. If you're on X or TikTok, you have to go to the link in the bio. All right, so wholesaling real estate, which one is more exciting to you? To wholesale real estate, to fix and flip, or to buy rentals? Give me your votes, 1, 2, or 3. And I'm going to do a deep dive on all three and give you realistic tips to do them. I'm also going to tie it all together and show you my trademark, it's not trademark, we're working on it, my trademark method to do all three at the same time. Yes, I'm getting ready to give you for free my trademark pending method to do all three at the same time. Do cash now, cash later, fixing and flipping, and rental. So it's got a good mixture. Mixtures of 1, 2, and 3s, and BRRRRs is an option, but it's just part of it, okay? So 1, 2s, and 3s. Let's go over all three right now. I promise to pack a ton of value into this. Double tap the screen, share this live with anybody you know is interested in real estate investing. Thank you for spending some time with me. And then also, let me know where you're from. I love to see where people are from. I got a few different apps up right now. That's why I'm looking around. Going live when I could be home with my family, and you may be with your family, but you spend some time with me. So thanks for the double taps and shares of this live. Awesome. So Let's start out with wholesaling. Now, I am going to go through all three and then tie them all together and do more giveaways. I'm going to give away a funding giveaway here in a minute. But wholesaling real estate, I'm going to show you right now how to wholesale real estate. What is going on there? With no money, no credit, and no risk. Be honest with me, does that sound too good to be true? As I type it, as I write it, it almost does. I'm going to show you how to wholesale real estate, which makes money in real estate with no money, no credit, and no risk. Does that sound too good to be true? Yes or no? Yes, does it sound too good to be true, or no, it doesn't sound too good to be true? I'm going to prove that it's not. Yeah, somebody said. Yeah. No, yeah. So some people trust me, some people don't. I get it. This online guru space gets ickier by the day. If you're thinking about following a guru, which I don't call myself that, but some people do, there's three things you need to consider. One, are they doing what they teach actively, or did they used to do it? Two, are they doing it at volume? And three, is what they're teaching transferable to other people? So those are the three things you can ask yourself with me, and maybe I pass your sniff test, maybe I don't. I'm good either way. But there's a lot of people online that don't do it currently, don't do it at volume, and their methods only work for them. I do my best to, I've done 1,000 deals. We wholesale 220 houses a year, 200 houses a year. So anyways, when it comes to wholesaling, I do it at volume, and my systems are transferable to you. So I'm going to show you how to wholesale with no money, no credit, and no risk. Let's go through it right now. Then we're going to go on to fixing and flipping, and then we're going to get on to rentals, and then I'm going to show you a sneak peek of my trademark pending method that does all three at the same time. All right, thank you. Let me know if you're from, if you're just joining. Throw your favorite emoji in the chat box. We're going to have fun and naturally read what's behind me because it could change your life. It's free and doesn't require anything from you, a phone number or email address. Just check your DMs, or if you're on X or TikTok, I'll link in the bios, but Facebook and Instagram, do that. All right, so wholesaling real estate. In order to wholesale real estate, how I teach people to do it with no money, no credit, or no risk, you have to understand and insert yourself in the real estate investing process. Now, real estate investing, in a nutshell, is taking a distressed property, fixing it up, and selling it or renting it for a profit. Do you agree? Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you do not. I need you to get a baseline understanding on here, okay? So, this is what real estate investing is as a holistic approach. Distressed property, buy it, make it nice, and then sell it or rent it for profit. That's real estate investing in a nutshell. Now, if you want to wholesale with no money, no credit, no risk, we live inside the transaction. We insert ourselves, I'll leave that one alone, we insert ourselves into a certain part of the process, and we provide value for two separate people, and we get paid for doing that. All right? So here's how to make cash now by wholesaling. So what you do, let's say you can get a property under contract to purchase, a distressed property. You get under contract to purchase for $150,000, meaning on a sheet of paper, you have a contract written with a distressed seller of a distressed house that says, I will purchase your house for $150,000. Day one of the contract is today. In 45 days, we're going to close. Are you with me so far? Yes, are you with me? You found a distressed property. You got it under contract to purchase for $150,000 on a legitimate purchase sale contract for real estate. We with me so far? Does this make sense? Again, I'm showing you how to wholesale with no money, no credit, and no risk. So what you do in that contract, you have written in a 10-day contingency, a 10-day transparent contingency. The seller knows about the contingency, okay? This is not something that the seller doesn't know about. You're not hiding it from them. And contingencies are very normal in contracts. Every contract has it. Who on here owns their house? Or if you own a house or have ever owned a house, raise your hand or say me. If you have had a contingency in your contract. If a bank gave you a loan on a house, they had a financial contingency in the contract. The bank didn't blanket give you money. They needed to underwrite the property. Or an inspection contingency. Contingencies are normal. So once you get the contract signed, make sure they know that there's a 10-day contingency in this, right? And on day 8, you sell the contract for $175,000 to a rehabber. So now they are under contract to purchase this property. You are no longer under contract. They are legally obligated to close. So on day 45, the seller gets paid $150,000 as you promised them. How much do you get paid on day 45 for executing this contract and helping them out, helping the seller and the buyer out? How much do you get paid for doing that? Any guesses? Yes, you're getting a low price because it's distressed. This is not retail-ready properties, people. So you get paid $25,000, which is about the national average wholesale fee, to execute this contract. Now, where's the no money, no credit, no risk part? Well, you didn't close on it, so you don't need any money. You didn't get a loan, so you don't need any credit. And there's no risk because of your 10-day contingency. If on the 10th day you didn't have it sold, you told the buyer or you told the seller throughout the process that I didn't get this sold and I'm going to have to drop out of this contract or renegotiate the price. Sellers understand that, especially if you communicate it with them, okay? So of course, it is easier to wholesale if you are willing to put a non-contingent offer on the property. And if you have funding to close on it and then sell it. Of course, it is easier to do it that way, but it's not a requirement to wholesale. It is not a requirement to wholesale, no money, no credit, no risk. And again, let me know where you're from. If you're just joining, I'm talking about how to invest in real estate in 2024 by wholesaling for cash, fixing and flipping for money later, and buying rentals for wealth. And I'm just on step one, which is wholesaling, so stick with me. At the end, I'm going to tie this all together and show you my trademark pending method that does all three at the same time. And of course, if you're on Facebook or IG, comment the word new, got a few different apps up, and you will get sent my latest free training, this 25 minutes. I don't collect any of your information. And then if you're on X or Tiki, link in bios. All right, so that's the first thing is wholesaling for cash now. No money, no credit, no risk. Now, the second thing we want to talk about is fix and flip. Comment the word new. And then another thing you can do is another one I'm giving away is fund. This is if you want to raise money from a private lender, a hard money lender, and potentially learn about my community that I provide a lending source, comment the word fund there. Comment the word fund in the chat box as well. New and fund, both free trainings, those strings attached. Okay, so fixing and flipping. Does everybody know what fixing and flipping is? Thumbs up if you know what fixing and flipping is. Thumbs down if you do not. Numbers are a little bit low right now. That's what happens when people are busy in the evenings. I get it. Or again, might not be evening where you're at, but for some of us it is. Does anybody know what fixing and flipping is? Yes? Fixing and flipping is buying a distressed property, as I mentioned earlier, fixing it up, making it nice, and then selling it for a profit more than you bought it and fixed it up for. So that's what fixing and flipping is. Buying a distressed property. Thanks, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. So that's what fixing and flipping is. Buying a distressed property, making it nice, and then selling it or renting it. Or this is selling it for a profit. I apologize. So that's what fixing and flipping is. Now, there are certain strategies that you can utilize that I want to talk about. So I want to give you tips in the rehab stage, and then I want to give you tips when you list it to maximize profit. So those are two things we're going to cover right now. Is that okay? I'm going to talk about some tips to maximize profit in your rehab. I'm going to talk about some tips to maximize profit when you go to sell it. Is that okay for me to go over those two things? I already talked about wholesaling. I'm getting ready to talk about fixing and flipping, and then we're going to talk about buying rentals using none of your own money. So rentals are what builds wealth. I own $50 million in real estate without using any of my own money in rental properties, so I'm going to teach you how to do it here in a minute, okay? So let's talk about how to make how you maximize profit in your rehab. So let's talk about specifically your rehab, okay? There are ways to maximize profit in the rehab. One way is getting the right contractors. There are contractors out there that are good to work with, and there are contractors out there that will make your life a living you-know-what. Now, let's talk about how to attract the best contractors, how to communicate with them so you maximize profit. Because I'm going to show you a way that contractors will give you a discount, meaning you will make more profit. They will do good work for a discount, all right? Does that sound good? I feel like I have small biceps. Okay, here we go. So contractors. So in general, Getting contractors to work for you can take a project and make it a pain in the butt, or it can make a project very, very easy and fun and simple and profitable. Would you rather have something be a pain in the butt or fun and profitable? Which one? So if you want to make it fun and profitable, you need to attract good contractors. Let's talk about where to find them and how to get a discount from them. So if you want to attract good contractors and find good contractors, what you need to do is you need to go to other real estate investors in your space and see what contractors they use, because not all contractors are good for investors and not all investors are good for contractors, okay? Again, comment the word new if you are just joining, okay? So you go to local meetups, local Facebook groups, and you talk to other real estate investors. Now, most of them have contractors that they work with on a monthly basis that they love to refer and keep busy. There are a few real estate investors that are kind of selfish and may hold those contractors close to them, but most won't, okay? So you get referrals from other real estate investors. Now, if you get contractors from Craigslist or from a connection, that's fine. Here's how you get a discount from contractors, okay? So are there any contractors on here right now? So you will confirm what I'm saying as I say this, and then the other people will see that it's true. So if you would like to get a discount from contractors, here's what you do. You approach the contractor when they're giving you the bid. You have a clear scope of work. You have a clear scope. You have a payment schedule. You have SKUs for the products you want. You give them more work. So if you're a contractor and somebody goes to you and they say, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I plan to do multiple projects a year that I will give you a chance to bid. I have a detailed scope of work that everything that needs to be done and when it needs to be done by. I have a payment schedule of when I will pay you. I have SKUs for the products that I want. A lot of new investors walk around Lowe's looking at all the toilets and wondering which toilet to buy. And they do different flooring for different projects, and they're just a mess. They're an amateur, they're not a professional. You can look like a professional if you have a scope of work, a payment schedule, you have SKUs of the products that you want. And by the way, I provide all this for my students in my community, all of it. And then you promise them more work. If you do that, most contractors will discount 5 to 10%. Because Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, they want their kitchen done. It's one time, they're a pain in the butt, they're living in it. They have to be quiet when the kids are napping or not work on weekends. When it's your rehab project that's vacant, they can go whenever they want, as far as like evenings or weekends. It's vacant, they don't have to worry about working around people, and it's an open canvas for them. So I'm telling you, if you do this, take this from this free training, you will get discounts. Now obviously, you got to build all that out, which I already built it out for my students, but you can figure it out, I promise. All right, so that's a way to save money is good contractors and treat them well on the rehab. It'll go quicker, which means your money costs will be less. It'll be better work, and you'll be able to sell it for more. All right, the second tip to maximizing profit on fixing and flipping is, do you think I forgot it? It is all about your list price, ladies and gentlemen. If you overlist right now in today's market, you will make way less money. Let me go through an example I said this on a live recently, but let me go through an example. We had a couple recently, or the brokerage in my office had a house recently that the couple wanted $700K for. Really nice house, really nice area. Did not have a finished basement though. The comps in the area that sold for $700K had a finished basement. So they wanted $700K for their house. They felt like it was worth that even without the basement, but they were like, we'll see. Now, how much do you think we told them to list it at? What's your guess? Hey, what's going on? What's up? Let me know where you're from. If you have not, comment that we're new to get a free 25-minute training where I don't collect your phone number or your email address. It's legitimately new. If you're on IG and Facebook, comment new. You'll get it sent to you. If you're on Tiki or X, go to the link in the bio. How much do you think we listed it for? Comments are delayed, so, all right. So, it tastes like that has vodka in it. I don't think it does. I'm just getting over a cold, but anyways. It does not. It's just water. So, we listed the property for $649,000. It scared the crap out of them. We listed for $649. Now, a couple years ago, there was bidding wars and things sold for way over asking. So this is 2 lessons. The first one is where you list and then how you list it. So this is the first lesson. Guess what it ended up selling for? I'm going to give you a hint. It created a bidding war. Now, you can't list this thing for $500 grand. It's got to be close. But guess what it sold for? Comments are delayed. I don't feel like I know people like, so I'm just going to roll with it. It sold for $750,000 cash, no contingencies, no inspections. Had we listed it at $699,000, maybe we would have got $750. Maybe we would have got $700. But that is probably near the top of some people's price points. And people assume they have to go over asking. So maybe they assumed it would go for $800, so they said, I'm not even going to look at it. The fact that we listed at $649, we created a bidding war, and we got them 50 grand more than they wanted. So there's that part. Then the other part is make sure to list your properties what other properties are listed for. If somebody with a similar house to us, this is a perfect example. If somebody with a similar house to us puts their house on the market and they list it for $749 because it's a comp and they saw ours sold for $750, which is logical, right? This one just sold for $750. I'm going to list mine for $749. I think they would get less than list price because it's already the top of the market. There's nowhere to drive it up. It's already over market, maybe, honestly. So if they would have looked and saw that ours listed for $649, then they could list it for between $649 and $700. That would make sense, I think. But you got to look at what house is listed for, not what just they sold for, because there's bidding wars and sometimes houses go below list. So you want to see that, and they go below sale. So those are certain things you need to look into. Does that make sense? Thumbs up. I know that was kind of a lot. Kind of pro tips. I'm trying to walk the fine line of like newbie tips, but also give impactful things. Buy houses at discounts. That's a newbie tip. I'm trying to give you a little bit more than that. Does that make sense? And if you're just joining, I talked about how to wholesale with no money, no credit, and no risk. We're talking about fixing and flipping, making big chunks of cash. I'm going to get ready to get into rental properties, which is my favorite because I own $50 million worth of real estate I bought using none of my own money. I want to talk about that here in a minute. Then I'm going to tie it all together. And a couple freebie giveaways I've done already. Comment new, Tiki IG, or Tiki and X. Go to the link in my bio, or just head over to IG and Facebook. You time the word new, you'll get sent a free 25-minute training. You comment the word fund, new, and you comment the word fund, you'll get sent a 25-minute training on how to raise money. How to buy real estate using none of your own money into rentals, how to raise money, do whatever you want with. All right, so those are the first 3, and then we're going to tie them all together, and then I might do a Q&A if we have time. And I may even roll this back again. If you're just joining now, you may see it roll back. If you want to see those first 2, hang out for a little bit, it'll roll back. Maybe. All right, here we go. So the third thing I want to talk about is buying rentals. Now, I want to set the stage with me, so just hang out with me for a minute, please. I know our numbers are down. I went live, if you were here earlier, one of the apps, I don't even know which one, cut out. And then I restarted it, and so numbers are down a little bit on certain apps. It's fine. I'm here to help either way. But let's build a case here. So the average American thinks that you need $1.5 million to retire. Now, do you think that's right or wrong? It doesn't really matter. 1.5 million. But I think in 20, 30 years it's going to be more than that. Oh, I know. I appreciate it. You're good. You appreciate it. I think in 20 years, that's the average. I don't know when you're going to retire. Let me know in the chat box, like 10, 20, 30 years, whenever it is, or when you want to retire. But I think you're going to need $1.5 to $2.5 million to retire comfortably, be able to do what you want. I don't think that's a stretch. Would you agree it's in that range, $1.5 to $2.5 million range to comfortably retire? I think we're on the same page, right? Yes? No? All right. So the average IRA plus 401k at the age of retirement. Any guesses what it is? The average, which takes into account high income earners. I'm not saying the median. Me and my biceps look small. I apologize about that. I gotta get back at it. Ugh. So the average IRA and 401k combined at the age of retirement. Look it up. 350,000. I'm not a math genius, but there's a big flipping delta between 1.5 to 2.5 million and 350,000. Now I know people have other retirement plans, but most people's retirement plan is an IRA and a 401k. That's like the base of it. Something's not adding up. Are you the type of person that sticks your head in the sand? Or are you the type of person that takes action and does something about it? Because it ain't going to be easier to retire in the future, pardon my French. Inflation is not going anywhere, and in case people don't understand inflation, there's no scenario where prices go down on goods and services. There is none. Inflation is typically like this. We had a big spike, and now we're back to like this. But there is no situation where inflation goes down. That's not a thing. We're not going to recapture that 20-30% increase that we had on most goods a couple years ago. It's going up, but at less of a pace. There is no scenario where inflation goes down. So if you think things are going to be more affordable, or you think that your IRA and 401k is going to work out for you, you probably need to consider something new. And you probably need to pay attention for the next 10 minutes because it could change your life. The next 10 minutes I'm going to talk about how to buy rental properties, which increase your cash flow, which increase your net worth, and give you tax-free money, all without using any of your own money. So you should probably pay attention because there's no scenario where the prices of groceries 5 years from now is less than today. There's no scenario where a new car 10 years from now costs less than it does today. There's no scenario where a house is going to cost less in 10 years than it is today. Inflation drives all of those up, plus cost of replacement. So it's going to get harder to create financial freedom if you're looking at doing things traditionally. If you want to do things a little bit more proactively, pay the F attention, type the word new in the chat box. You'll get sent a free training. All right, so there are several steps to buy real estate using none of your own money. I'm not going to go over all of them right now. I'm just going to go over the basics, okay? We're going to cover the basics, all right? So in order to buy real estate rental properties using none of your own money, you have to understand two things. You have to understand that assets create wealth. Does everybody agree with that? I need to make sure that because if we're not on the same page here, we're wasting each other's time. All right? Assets create wealth. Sorry, my writing sucks, but assets create wealth, right? Assets are real estate and business for the most part. You're not going to create wealth through a W-2 job or saving your money. That just the math doesn't add up. Every dollar today is worth less tomorrow. So you save them in your bank account and they go down in value. You're losing money. So assets create wealth. So what you need to do is you need to understand how to buy assets using other people's money, which is technically debt. So what I'm going to do is tell you how to use debt, aka other people's money, to create wealth. Let me know where you're from. If you have not, double tap that screen, share this live. I think there's some valuable information here. I'm just trying to provide as much of it as I can. So we're going to talk about how assets create wealth. I'm going to tell you how to buy assets using none of your own money. Let me know where you're from. And I like to have fun. If you don't like to have fun, I guess we can still be friends. But throw your favorite emoji in the chat box if you don't mind. I like to see that, and it's fun. All right, so we're going to use debt to create wealth with this beautiful method that I have taken and changed and made it a little bit. Debt can be scary. Yes, I saw a couple different apps comment that. Debt is not scary if you don't, it's only scary because you don't understand it. If you're in a room and the lights are off and you've never been in that room, it's scary. But if you turn on the lights, it's not scary anymore because you can see what's going on. I guess unless there's somebody in there. But just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's wrong. I think we can all agree. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's wrong. So my goal is to help you understand it right now, okay? So let's use good debt. Exactly. So let's talk about how to use debt right now. And then I'm going to show you my systems to do this. I created systems like Chick-fil-A creates systems like Henry's Hamburgers or Chris's Chicken, where you're just opening up a restaurant on your own, versus Chick-fil-A systems. Which one do you think is more profitable? The systems that created the most profitable fast food franchise in the world, that have high schoolers running them, The owners don't even run them, or doing everything yourself. I'm going to give you the systems here in a minute or show you how to find them. All right, so let's talk about this beautiful, beautiful method. So we talked a little bit earlier about finding a distressed property is how all real estate starts. And in this case, you need to find somebody to lend you money. If you want help on finding somebody to lend you the money, get a free 25-minute training on, they're both 25 minutes, that's just coincidence, but type the word fund in the chat box. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, X, or Twitter, you're going to have to DM me. So probably just head over to Instagram anyway, and then you can type that in. All right, so this method of taking a distressed property and somebody else's money to create wealth for you is called the BRRRR method. And unless you have seen me teach the BRRRR method, you have not seen the BRRRR method. It is something that is a method that's been out there a long time. It's been around for about 40 years. Bigger Pockets made it popular by coining the words, and then I made it better by making it better because I've done it 300 times. And it does work. If you don't think the BRRRR method works, it's because you don't understand it. Or you're following somebody that doesn't understand it. Or you are doing it in the wrong market. The BRRRR method is very, very profitable and works very, very well in today's market. Interest rates are not going anywhere substantially up or down for the next 5 to 10 years. So you're going to have to get used to the current interest rates and make it work anyway, or you can put your head back in the sand and let the world move on without you. You pick. All right, so who has heard of the BRRRR method with the S from me? So you can't give me a thumbs up if you've heard of the BRRRR or you haven't heard me explain it. So thumbs up if you've heard me explain the BRRRR method. Thumbs down if you have not heard me explain the BRRRR method. Thumbs up if you heard me explain the BRRRR method. Thumbs down if you have not heard me explain the BRRRR method. Regardless, type 1 if you want to know how to create wealth using this method. All right, so this stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. It stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and scale. This is a way to use debt to create wealth. It sounds counterintuitive, but doesn't mean that it's wrong, okay? All right, so let's go through the method. Let's use that same property we talked about earlier. That 100, you weren't here probably for it, but hang around, it might come back. So let's say you can buy a distressed house for $175,000. You look at it, you do your due diligence, you see that it needs, let's say $50,000 worth of work. Buy, rehab. So you do math because you have a calculator in your iPhone, and you see that you need $225,000 to buy and fix up a property. Are we with me? You look at a property in person or on video or a phone, and you know that you can buy for $175,000 and you know it needs $50,000. So you know you need $225,000 to buy and fix up the property. Are you with me? Okay. Now, what you do is you borrow $225,000 from a private money lender. What's a private money lender? How do I find one? Type that in the chat box. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, if you're on X or Twitter, head over to Facebook, Instagram to get it if you want it. All right, so you borrow $225,000 to buy and repair the property. Now that you have a repaired, happy, smiling property, you get it rented. And the beautiful thing about today's market and how real estate is so flexible and movable is you can rent it out on a short-term basis. If the area and city allows for that, you can maximize cash flow. And still cash flow in today's market. In today's market, you can cash flow Airbnb 100% if you do this the right way. Another option you have is rent it out on a midterm rental, which might even cash flow more. You're renting out to traveling nurses, 30, 60, 90, 120-day leases, traveling nurses, corporate leases, insurance claims. There is about, for every 20 people that need a midterm rental, there's one available. And then the last option is long-term rental. What you're thinking, Section 8 or market rent on Zillow. So that's the beautiful thing about my BRRRR method is it allows you to short-term, midterm, or long-term rent it so you're making sure to cash flow. because cash flow is harder, because interest rates are higher than they have been. They're still not high, and prices of houses are higher than they have been, but still probably where they should be. All right, so you bought it, you fixed it up, and you got it rented. Are you with me so far? The next step is the most confusing step, so pay attention right now. It's called the refinance step. If you go to a small local banker, you get a DSCR loan. They will give you, DSCR probably 75%, but a small local bank will give you up to 80% of the appraised value. So this property is a real property I did a couple months ago now. It appraised for $300,000. So they wrote me a check. A small local bank in this area of St. Louis wrote me a check for $240,000. What did I do with that $240,000 check? Any guesses? Any guesses what I do with that $240,000 check? Anybody have any guesses? People say buy a property, do this, do that. I paid back my private money lender their $225,000 plus interest. So they made $15,000 of profit in their pocket using none of their own, or using their money. I use none of mine. Sorry, I used to saying that. So they made $15,000. They wrote me a check for $225,000. 95 days later, I wrote them, or this was like 120 days, about 4 months. So 120 days, I wrote them a check for $240,000. So they made $15,000. They're paid off. They're happy. They're ready to do another one. Now I owe the bank $240,000. But how do I pay the bank? Any guesses? Again, this is how to buy real estate using none of your own money. If you just missed it or you're just joining, type the word new. You'll get a training similar to this, just a little different setting. Any guesses what I did with that? Any guesses how to pay back the bank? Rent. Rent pays the bank back every single month. And before we get into scale, let's look at what we just did. You did this, I did this. Today, I own a rental property worth $300,000, and I have a $240,000 mortgage. So I bought it without using any of my own money. What is my equity in this one property? Any guesses? My equity in this one property is $60K. Not going to retire tomorrow off of that, but I have $60,000 in equity that I didn't use any of my own money to get. Very cool. But guess what happens to real estate over time? 15 years from now, this $300,000 house will be worth $600,000 because real estate doubles in value. Sorry, moving down the screen. Will double in value every 15 years. Guess what else happens? The rent pays down the principal balance of the mortgage. So you will realistically be less than this, but let's be conservative, $150,000 mortgage. So your $60K in equity turned into $450,000 in equity in just 15 years in just one rental property. And this is something that you bought using none of your own money. If you were here earlier, which I know none of you probably were, but that's more than the average 401k and IRA at the age of retirement, which is 65. $450,000 equity in one property bought using none of your own money. Yeah, it was a lot of hard work. My neck hurts. It was a storm last night here in St. Louis, and my 2-year-old woke up crying at about 3 o'clock because of the storms. I don't blame her, and they were loud, so I went to lay with her, and I let her use the pillow, and I used one of her stuffies as a pillow and slept with her the rest of the night, and my neck hurts. All right, sorry about that. This is just showing you the power of real estate over time, okay? Now, if you want to do this at a high level and do it more than one time, you scale, which is create systems around everything. Systems create efficiency, create scalability. I think everybody knows that. Assembly lines. Systems like we talked about with the Chick-fil-A franchise earlier. Systems create scale. You need to get involved in coaching and join a community. You're not going to grow if you don't do that. I don't know anybody successful that's not involved in the community and coaching. You need to take action and have accountability. You need somebody holding you accountable on your actions. You need to increase your lead flow. Any business is a numbers game. whether it's landscaping or a law firm or a real estate investing company. You need leads and scale to grow. And then lastly, you need extra funding. You need more funding at every step so that you can scale and not have money be the reason you don't buy a property. So it's all here for you, the systems, the processes. And if you just joined earlier, well, I can maybe even loop this, but what you want, if you want to hang back around here a little bit, you're going to learn what I just covered was 3 ways to invest in real estate in 2024, wholesale for cash now, fix and flip for cash later, rentals for wealth. I showed you how to wholesale with no money, no credit, no risk. We talked about fixing and flipping and maximizing profit. And then we talked about how to buy rentals using none of our own money with the BRRRR method. Now, I want you to understand that debt creates wealth. Properly leveraged debt creates wealth. All right? And if people have access with the funding stuff, just comment that and you'll get sent funding training. Ugh, I think that lack of sleep's catching up with me, but let's rock with this a little bit longer. So, debt creates wealth, okay? This is the cycle that you can talk about. So, what you need to do is you need to borrow money to buy a distressed. Let's try to make this easy to understand. This is how wealth's created, everybody. You borrow money to buy a distressed house and to fix up that distressed house. Then you then you take that property to a bank. They will write you a loan to pay back your initial lender. And this property is a rental property, so you collect cash and use part of that cash to pay back the bank. Let's go through this. You borrow money to buy and repair a distressed property. Then you take it to a small local bank. They will write you a check to pay back who you borrowed the money from. Now you do owe the bank money, but this is a rental property. You take a portion of the rent and you pay back the bank. You take a portion of the rent and you put it right in your pocket. That's how I bought 300 rental properties using none of my own money. That's a lot. I understand that, but it's real and it works and it's freaking awesome. So that is how to make it happen. Again, you comment the word new and you will get sent a free training from me. Also, while I got you, I have a book. It's called Own Your Freedom. It comes with a free 40 video course. It's $4.99 on Amazon. I don't make any money on this. It took me 18 months to write it. It's a good book, and it's $5. I would suggest going to Amazon and getting this, or I think if you comment the word book on Instagram, it'll get sent to you. Everywhere else, you just have to go to Amazon or DM me on Instagram, I guess. But might as well check it out. Other thing, I am a pretty big deal because I have a bobblehead that looks like me. All right, cool. So this is how wealth is created using none of your own money. Hopefully you enjoyed a lot of this. Make sure to follow me, whatever platform you're watching. Check out the Faster Freedom Show on all podcast platforms and YouTube.